Some people casually check the score and move on with their day, but others plan their weekends around games, feel their mood rise or crash with a final whistle, and say things like, "We won," without ever stepping on the field. And from the outside, it looks irrational. Grown adults emotionally invested in strangers chasing a ball. But here's what most people miss. Being a diehard sports fan isn't really about sports at all. It's about something much deeper happening in the brain. And once you understand this, you'll never look at sports fans the same way again. If you've ever wondered why someone can remember a game from 10 years ago but forget what they ate yesterday, this is why. For diehard sports fans, games don't just happen. They get encoded. Their brain tags those moments as emotionally important, which means they're stored differently in memory. Wins feel euphoric. Losses feel heavy. Not because the outcome objectively matters, but because the brain has decided this counts. And that decision starts with something very human: belonging. When someone becomes a diehard fan, their brain treats the team as an extension of the self. That's why fans say, "We won," instead of "they won." Psychologically, that boundary between me and them starts to blur. The team's success feels like personal success. The loss feels like personal failure. And criticism of the team can feel oddly offensive, almost like a personal attack. But belonging alone doesn't explain why some people go all in, while others couldn't care less. Here's where it gets interesting. For diehard fans, sports don't just provide connection, they provide emotional regulation. During a game, the brain cycles through anticipation, hope, tension, relief, and disappointment. Dopamine rises before big moments. Cortisol spikes during close calls. Then comes the release. It's a full emotional workout delivered on a schedule. In a life that often feels chaotic or emotionally flat, sports create predictable intensity. You know when to feel something, you know what to care about, you know where to place your emotions. That's why people say things like, "I can't miss this game," even when nothing tangible is at stake. Missing the game doesn't just mean missing entertainment, it means missing an emotional ritual. Sunday games, playoff seasons, rival matchups. These become emotional landmarks in someone's year. For some people, sports are the most consistent narrative they have. There's always a next game, a next season, a chance at redemption. Even when life feels stagnant, the story keeps moving forward somewhere. This also explains why sports fandom often intensifies during certain phases of life. Periods of loneliness, stress, and identity uncertainty. At times when other sources of meaning feel shaky, sports offer a ready-made story to step into. You don't have to create it, you just have to commit to it. And commitment is the key word here. Diehard fans aren't just watching, they're investing time, emotion, memory, and loyalty. Over the years, that investment compounds. The more you've given, the harder it is to detach. Walking away wouldn't just mean losing interest, it would mean losing a piece of your past. All those moments you cared deeply about would suddenly feel pointless, and the brain doesn't like that, so it doubles down. This is why fans stay loyal through losing seasons, why they defend teams that consistently disappoint them, and why hope resets every year no matter how many times it's been crushed before. Loyalty preserves meaning. But here's the part that people who aren't sports fans often misunderstand. This isn't stupidity. It isn't a mindless obsession. It's a psychological trade-off. For diehard fans, fulfillment comes secondhand through the team. They're emotionally invested in something outside themselves, something they can't fully control. And that can look strange to people who prefer meaning that's direct, personal, and self-generated. But both approaches are solving the same problem: how to feel connected, alive, and part of something larger than yourself. The difference is where that meaning lives. For some people, it lives in relationships, or creative work, or ideas. For others, it lives in stories that unfold on a field, watched alongside millions of people who feel the same thing at the same time. That shared emotional synchronization is rare, and when someone finds it, they don't let go easily. So when you see someone lose their mind over a last-second shot, what you're really seeing isn't about the ball. You're watching identity, belonging, emotional regulation, memory, and meaning collide in a single moment. And once you understand that, sports fandom stops looking irrational